Mr. Edit Man presents Former Flat Earthers. What made you realize the Earth is, in fact, not flat? Hey, something I can finally answer. Not me, but my good friend and roommate fell into the flat earth black hole while in university. Started out as a joke, but then he just fell into it more and more. Eventually I challenged him to do an experiment to figure it out ourselves. We went to opposite ends of a big inlet bay. He had calculated the supposed curvature of the earth and figured out that from the distance between us, me at one end and him at the other, we should have a few meters of water between us. We both took some powerful green lasers that he had smuggled back from China in years past. While on the phone I would shine my laser somewhat into the air, watching to avoid planes and helicopters. Then now that he could see me, he would shine his laser up into the sky and slowly lower it until it disappears, or just me. If it hit me, the earth was possibly flat. Well, it disappeared 3 or so meters above my head every time. He accepted it, and we moved on besides a brief time where he thought it was refracted from the water. This will probably get buried, but as someone who entertained but never fully believed the idea and went pretty deep down the rabbit hole, it's time. On a flat earth map, circling the North Pole should be an extremely short trip, while circling the South Pole would be the longest route on the planet. The further south you get, the further apart things should be, and the longer trips would take. The flat earth map really falls apart there. Once they start arguing that time works differently based on location, you know there's no way to justify the argument. My ex-husband is a flat earther. Literally nothing you can say to him will make him think otherwise, including that damn 15-degree drift. He acknowledges that he does not think like everybody else, but insists that everybody else is wrong. I cannot tell you the countless hours that I wasted in YouTube rabbit holes with him explaining the logistical ways the earth is flat, and that there is an ice wall encapsulating us to prevent the oceans from pouring over. They are a different breed of people. I think I was about 3 when I first saw a globe and had it explained to me. I doubt you'll find many, if any, reformed flat earthers. For people like that who are so entrenched within their ideology, the flat earth isn't not just something they believe, it's who they are. They have flat earth friends, listen to flat earth podcasts, watch flat earth YouTube, and wear flat earth clothes to their flat earth meetings. Even if deep down, someone like that had an epiphany and realized that they were wrong. Imagine how hard it would be to reject all of these relationships, the community, and the friends that are held together because of that one common belief. It's similar to why it's so hard for people to leave cults or extremist religious or political groups. I got a tattoo about a year ago. The guy was highly rated in tattoo, and his photorealistic style was exactly what I was looking for to commemorate my mother's passing 20 years prior. While he is setting up, he puts on the TV and the first thing that comes on is a YouTube channel about flat earth theories. What followed was the wildest 4 hours I have had strapped into a chair with a man going at my arm with a device that stabs my skin hundreds of times per second. What was craziest about him was he had his pilot's license. He flies an airplane. When he goes up, he can clearly see the curvature of the earth. As he explained everything though, it kind of made sense why he would believe it. I can't remember specifics, but I came to realize that all his points would make perfect sense if you were applying them to making 3-dimensional art on a 2-dimensional plane. It was pretty fascinating. The tattoo ended up pretty sick, too. He gave me a discount at the end because I guess no one actually listens to his rants patiently. I think my favorite recorded flat earther interaction was when Elon Musk tweeted at the Flat Earth Society and asked them why they believed the earth was flat when we could plainly see that Mars is round. They responded that unlike the earth, Mars has been observed to be round. What about the one where someone asked, how come all the other planets are round but not Earth? Then someone replied with, the earth is not a planet. Finally a question perfect for me. I became a flat earther for quite a long time, and it was still surprising that I realized that flat earthers is just straight up stupid. Because for me, the fact that we see the earth flat because it's an illusion of our eyes. And yes, I became a globe earther again and believed in the moon landing again. I know 4 flat earthers personally and know that they have other believers in their respective families. Nothing thus far has been able to convince them otherwise. One of them is a magnet. Sorry, bioenergy healer, and another sells essential oils. I'm not a flat earther, but my ex was. He believed all conspiracy theories, no matter what evidence I showed him. My ex made me watch an hour-long documentary in which in the last 3 minutes the man said the world is in fact a Mobius strip and that's why no one falls off. I just looked at him after that documentary and could not take him seriously. We broke up soon afterwards. I have an acquaintance I met in the Navy who joined specifically so he could see that the earth was flat while at sea. Every day he would chart the ship's location, speed, heading, etc. a few times a day so he could make a map of their path. Ultimately he realized that the path the ship was taking would be impossible if the earth was flat, based on the distance they were traveling vs their speed. When he finally got skeptical of the earth being flat, his LPO went topside with him and pointed out the curvature by giving him binoculars and explaining that if the earth was flat, he should be able to see the line they were making for. He could not see anything off the horizon. After that, he was convinced. My husband got trapped in a YouTube black hole of flat earth videos for a while. Drove me up a wall. As of recently I discovered he changed his mind. His reasoning? He discovered the majority of flat earthers are Trumpers with extreme political views and who agree with Trump's stupid logic. Husband's flat earth ideas died that day. I think for flat earthers it is less about proving the world is flat, but more about to prove that there is a God. And in a certain way I get that you would not let this go. So in the end facts do not matter. I guess you could shoot a flat earther to the moon and they would still find a way to explain that this was just a simulation or whatever. Former flat earthers here. It was a horizon. A flat earth could never explain the horizon. It surrounds the observer and it is typically assumed to be a circle, which we know it's not a true circle, drawn on the surface of a slanted model of the earth. That's why the earth is really a triangle. #trianglearth #GHOSTDUCKINGISREAL. I grew up. My mother was always getting into crazy conspiracies, and one time she discovered the flat earth theory. She introduced me to it, and I was skeptical at first, but then I tentatively gave it a chance. The videos she showed me were very convincing, using some real science to explain phenomena we see on the earth could happen if it were flat, such as atmospheric refraction causing the sun to disappear beyond the horizon. But I never fully accepted the theory, since I had a relatively good grasp of astronomy and did not see how some effects could happen on a flat earth. For example, we know there are two hemispheres of stars that can be observed from the earth. In the northern and southern sky, it's been well documented throughout history. But if the earth is flat, would not we see only one hemisphere of stars from any point on the earth? And then there was some complete nonsense like the moon producing its own light despite having visible shadows in craters. By asking these questions, my mom eventually realized that the flat earth theory made no sense. My mindset when approaching the theory was we can make observations about how things behave and come up with different explanations for what causes them. So let's compare the flat and globe earth theories and see which holds up better. We both came to the conclusion that the flat earth does not adequately explain many of the things we observe on earth. And several weeks later she ended up watching videos by an airline pilot who debunks the flat earth theory and showed a few to me. Deep down, I think she also had an understanding of how the solar system works, since she used to teach science and math as an elementary school teacher. I even have a model of the solar system we made when I was a kid. So letting go of the flat earth theory was probably easier for her than some who do not know about moon phases or the tilt of the earth, or anything like that. Many flat earthers just lack basic knowledge to begin with, and the flat earth theory fills that void for them. There is something like a mental disorder about this. I saw a video about this once. It's like the Matrix. They wanna believe they are near. They are awake, trying to prove to everyone that everything is a lie, that they are so smart they can see it but everyone else is not. They wanna be the heroes of the story and so on, which drives them into delusions and everything they see or hear seems fake to them. So they end up being the sleep people watching us from the opposite side. Like there is a video if a guy trying to prove there is no globe, and in the progress he just proves it is, and he just sit there wondering what is going on. Like he probably thinks the light he used to test it is manipulated or touched, like the famous GoPro jump where they think the wide mode on GoPro was created so the earth will look round. I thought oceans were a myth. Sort of. When I was a kid the largest body of water was a river I could swim across. When I eventually say the Pacific Ocean for the first time it scared the malarkey out of me. When I was a kid I could tell by the sky, it's not flat at the furthest view of the land. And other facts that make sense cause it's not ducking flat, come on. There is a flight from Santiago, Chile, to somewhere in Australia. On the flat earth it is impossible to fly this route without stopping. Yet, there are several videos of people flying this route. You only need one thing to disprove your theory, and yeah, that changed my mind. People still called all the videos of this flight fake and stuff SMH. I used to be a big flat earther until I took astronomy and physics in university. I concluded with physical evidence that the earth is a globe and we are flying through the ever expanding space. I saw other sphere-shaped planets at our school observatory. E=mc2 is cool too. But the one thing that gets me is how improbable the moon landing was. The technology does not exist anymore, and what I cannot wrap my head around is how we survive the exosphere without burning up due to extreme radiation, and how were we able to stream the second takeoff on the moon in 1969. Seems very unlikely technology of those sorts existed, although they keep saying it's real, including my fav professor / Gravity. You have made it until the end of this video. Now listen here, and listen here closely. Like and subscribe for more curated content by Mr. Edit Man. Thanks for watching.